Hey folks, welcome back to Metroplexity. So now we're on day 2 of this run, and the goal for today is to try and make it through the sewer hideout and wipe out the Fangs. Uh, we'll see if I manage to accomplish that. I will probably get close at least. Once I do, things will open up a bit. I'll have access to some better food, and my energy generation will become much better. But first I have to deal with them. So I'm still set up for sneaking around. I am eventually going to stop sneaking, but before I kill a bunch of the Fangs, there's some stuff that I want to do in the sewer hideout. So I have to do some stealthy stuff and try to avoid killing them for at least a little while. So we'll see how things go. Oh, this is the downside of being etheric in here, running into a lake serpent. Um, I'm probably in trouble here. Oh, I actually managed to beat it. Uh, just barely. I'm going to go ahead and rest, get some hit points back, and burn off that last point of etheric. Okay, so I can kill some of these guys, but I have to keep the number down for the time being. And I'm not great at killing them because I have a knife equipped instead of a gun. So I might actually run out of techniques. Yeah, if this pass doesn't kill him, I'm going to lose. And it didn't. I still get experience for the one that I did manage to kill, but because I ran out of techniques, yeah, I lose. Okay, this is one of the things that I wanted stealth for, to be able to sneak in here and steal some stuff. Okay, an armored vest is good, and the credits are definitely appreciated, but not exactly what I was looking for. This is the other thing that I was looking to get, was being able to eavesdrop here before the alarm goes off too much. By doing that, I learn about Dr. Thomas, and I'll be able to contact her later. Don't need to talk to her for now, though. So now I can start killing guys in earnest, but until the alert goes up enough that there's less stealing to do, I'm going to keep the knife equipped. Although one thing I can do is add a few more techniques there. Yeah, same stuff. Cutting it pretty close. Not going to be able to successfully fight off 3 of them like this, so just walk away. And I actually am taking some damage even when I manage to dodge. So this is not really sustainable. but there's an item I would really like to steal. I think I have probably killed too many to be able to steal it, though, at this point. So I might as well go ahead and change up my equipment a bit. Throw in a light armored vest. Equip the pistol, but what I'm going to do, now that I got the range power up, I am going to ship in another basic weapon, and this time get a gun. Because I'm going to need that extra ranged power, because there's a boss coming up. And the ranged defense is going to be helpful too. That's about all I've got, though. And it's, yes, much easier to kill these guys when I'm actually using a gun. Yeah, and at this point, there's not really stuff worth stealing anymore. But now I can fight off more of these guys at once, because I can actually kill them reasonably. And just try to avoid taking any damage so that I'll be able to fight the boss at full health, ideally. I've lost track of how many of them I killed, so I'm not sure if I'm going to make it to the boss or not, but we'll see. As you can see, the dodging is very important because just the chip damage would require spending more energy resting. Okay, so now I've killed enough of them and I've made it to the boss. You can either fight him or let him go, and since you killed all his dudes, he will take you up on that offer. If you made it through here without killing guys, you would have the option to either jump him or just steal some stuff and cause some chaos. I'm going to try attacking him because if I can manage to kill him, the items that he drops are very useful for a ranged run. He is tougher than the opponents I've been fighting up till this point, though. He can take more damage and he can deal out more. And as you can see, he's not just fighting on the first round. He's thankfully not dealing too much damage because I've got the armored vest on. But I have to deal enough damage to him before he starts hitting me with some heavier stuff. But it's looking good. Although, yes, he can also try to avoid my attacks. Okay, that went pretty well. He dropped a whole bunch of clips of explosive bullets. The more you fight him, the fewer of those you will have available after the fight. He drops a bunch of credits, which are also useful to have, some eclipse, and he dropped this encrypted PDA, which is something that will be important later on. And if I check on my quests, I can see I've taken care of the boss. Now I just need to do something about their supply of eclipse. So I can either steal their crates of eclipse or I can burn them. Under many circumstances, I would burn them to get some free energy of etheric without spending body. But because of the way I'm doing this run and not having access to some of the toys that I might otherwise use just to make this more representative for a new player, I'm just going to steal the crates. There's stuff that I'll want to be etheric for, but I'll do that later. And now, I've shut down the Fangs, and I can contact Mikhail for my payment. And I could let him keep the 500 to upgrade his restaurant, but I'm going to go ahead and take it. And now the PDA becomes a thing. And I can talk to Lo about it. And he will suggest that I go talk to his colleague, Dr. Amundsen, and tell her that Loki sent me. This is very much a theme. The Midgard Corporation is big onto their whole naming theme, as becomes apparent once you start meeting some people and digging into projects that they have going on. Yeah, so I can go ahead and take the Metros to the university. And Lo wants me to check for Dr. Amundsen over there in the lab, but before I do that, I'm going to head to the bookstore here. And this is where I'm going to spend some of those credits that I've been building up. I'm going to want a chemistry kit. I'm going to want an electrical kit because I didn't manage to steal one. And I'm going to want a bunch of caramel bars. Some of the other stuff in here I will want later, but I can pass on it for now. Electrical kit is occasionally useful as a gadget, so I might as well equip it. And now I can go into the lab, check out Dr. Amundsen's office, and oh, bad stuff has happened in here. Somebody left the mark of an eye on the wall and trashed the place, but it wasn't the Fangs. But I should check back in with Lo and let him know. And now he wants me to check in on another acquaintance. I could send Lo to do it. That's not a particularly good idea because all it means is that Lo gets himself into trouble. And one of the things about this game is that it's possible for you to screw up and get NPCs killed. It will not prevent you from progressing through the game, but it will lock off certain paths. And basically all this does is give you the option to get Lo killed. So I'm going to go ahead and take care of stuff. So he wants me to go back to Southside Park and check out a building there. But first, I'm going to eat some of those caramel bars and get some energy. Before I leave, I'm going to check out the quad. And there's a protest going on, and I'm going to see what's going on with this. There's a couple ways of dealing with the protest. I'm going to do it by getting the target of the protest to leave. You could do it by sheer violence, just killing all the protesters. You can do it by depressing them so that they'll no longer feel like they're accomplishing anything. Various ways of doing it. I'll just, in order to keep them from freaking out, I'll just go ahead and join in. This guy will tell me what's actually going on, though. So he mentions Dr. Myers, and who's the one that they're protesting, because they think he's experimenting on some sort of endangered animal. Which, well, you saw that sea serpent earlier, right? Now that I know that Dr. Myers is here, I can ask him about the protest. and say, there's something I can do to help. He wants another sample. If he gets that, he doesn't have to stay around in this lab. He can move somewhere else and make use of the new sample. So he gives me a sampling kit, and if I beat one of those serpents with this equipped, I can get a sample that he can work with. Let's see. I'm going to need some better stats before I move on with the main quest line. For now, I will go back to Southside, but I'm going to install the chemistry kit in my apartment here. And now that means I can make use of chemistry crafting. Although, until I get the experimental chemistry skill, the stuff that I'm able to craft is pretty limited. And let's use a few of these clips of explosive bullets. And I learned 5 copies of the technique explosive shot. And now I can update my deck a bit and replace short burst with explosive shot. Because explosive shot has a base damage of 4, and it gets +2 damage as the first technique in a chain, and +4 as the last technique in a chain, which makes it pretty nice. So now, let's see. I guess I'm going to go to the docks, work towards the Squatter King's quest a bit. And get some experience while I'm at it. And I might as well do a bit of fishing. So yeah, you can, when you're on the waterfront here or in another area later on, and a couple weirder areas, if you have a fishing pole equipped, you can get fishing encounters. Let's rest, and because I was able to make use of the hideout, managed to grab a couple drugs. Fishing pole's not a great weapon, but I'm going to go ahead and attack these guys. Oh, and that did not go well for me. But I still managed to win and get a security badge from the guy who was heading into the warehouse, and also a cap, which is a bonus to perception, so that's handy. And actually, you know what? What I really ought to do, what I should have done while I was in Southside, is stop by Little Eddie's and buy one of those training tickets. It's going to cost me 5 energy, but using it teaches me some techniques and gets me the skill Gunslinger, which is just a constant passive +2 to my ranged power. And I could add some precise shots into my deck. I don't think I need to at the moment. It's best as an opener, and for now, Dive for Cover is really my better option as an opener. Let's rest up and go back to the docks. And go looking for the crate for the Squatter King. That's not the one he's looking for, so I can go ahead and open it. Some guns, not very helpful. And I might as well swap over to the sampling kit. Yeah, and your fishing skill ranks up as you do fishing. And there's some creatures that you don't have to be etheric to run into. They are powerful enough to manifest on their own, and the ghouls are one of those. I think I can probably run away, and since I have a fishing pole equipped, I think that's what I'm going to do. Oh, no. Not good enough. Since I had the sampling kit equipped, I was able to get some teeth from it, and getting bitten by it taught me a bit about how to attack like a ghoul, which is, if I was going melee, this is a pretty good technique to have in your one chain slot. And yeah, various other ways you can learn techniques. Sometimes you can learn them by resting at a gang hideout, watching TV. I could have just let this ghoul kill that guy, but instead I'm going to try to save him. Since I got beaten up, that encounter is going to happen again. Eventually. Eh. Okay, there's the creative medicines for the Squatter King. Hand it over, since I already found the Fangs sewer hideout and dealt with them. Giving me information on how to find it isn't very useful, so instead he gives me this crate of explosives, so I can crack that open and see what's inside it. So gas grenades and nitro. Gas grenades are one of the things that I was hoping to get from this, so that's good. Let's see. I need 10 experience to get the next point of perception. I need more perception and reflexes. So yeah, I think that's good. Back to the university because I forgot to arrange a shipment with my smuggler. I am going to ask for a crate of drugs. Let's see if I get anything nice out of this. Okay, most of this stuff is of limited use, particularly in Run, but Nova, once I get that experimental chemistry skill, I'm going to be able to turn this into a very useful drug. For now, back to the docks, and I might as well eat some more caramel bars. You can see, in addition to energy, that gives me the sugar rush effect, which is a bonus to reflexes, which might be useful a little bit later on. But for now, I still need to earn some more experience to get my base scores a bit higher. Since I got that warehouse ID, I'm going to go ahead and go into the warehouse. And you can find good stuff in these crates, better stuff if you have some documents that tell you where things are. For now, I'm going to grab a random crate. Okay, that's not bad. Getting the scrubs, bottoms, and tops will be helpful later on. And the scrub bottoms has a bonus to reflexes, which is going to be particularly helpful, helping with running away and passing stat checks. But I'm going to continue on in here for a bit. This thing will probably kick my ass, so I'm going to hope I can run away from it. And I failed, and I didn't get a particularly good hand. I wonder if I can run away from in combat. Okay. So I had enough for that, and because of the choice encounter, I got some reflexes experience. This guy has the warehouse inventory. There's a couple different ways that you can get it from him. I'm going to get it by starting an actual combat with him. So he dropped the warehouse inventory, another cap. So now I know that where there's a secret prototype. That's a group of those guys. I'll leave them alone. There is security in here. These guys can be a bit rough, but I can probably take one of them. Well, I took one of them, but we both ended up getting killed. Okay, that's a helpful thing to get. That's even more ranged power for me, and also a bit of etheric power. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and equip that. But as long as I'm here, there's another item that would be useful. So I'll try for one more prototype. Okay, with a nice weapon, I was actually able to beat that thing. And because I had the electrical kit equipped, I was able to salvage some electrical parts from it. And there's also this, which is a handy weapon if you're going melee. And this is something that you can use for a fire technique. Oh, getting a bit of will. That's nice. Go ahead and use another warehouse inventory. And the toolbox had an electrical kit in it, so I could have saved some credits earlier. Oh well. So let's try one more prototype. That's some cyberware. You can install stuff like that, cyber limbs, eyes. In this case, you can install these under your skin to make you stealthier. Not something I'm going to be making use of. Okay, let's rest up. Take some Eclipse and equip that sampling kit. Yeah. Now I was actually able to deal some reasonable damage to that thing. Okay, so this is a little mini quest here that you run into when you're etheric after you've completed the stuff with the fangs. So there's fish people and there's fairies, and they do not like each other. So you can choose to side with one of the two factions. So it's giving me a jar. It wants me to capture a fairy. The fairy would want me to kill the fish guy. I'll deal with that. Actually, yeah, I'll go ahead and go down into the sewers, because that's where the fairies hang out. Darting past while etheric is a little bit risky. You might make it past, or you might get caught by the rat, which has some weird mojo going on. And there's ghouls down here too. And horrible masses of rats. Pop another Eclipse. There's a sea serpent. By beating that with a sampling kit equipped, I get a lake serpent sample. And I can talk to Dr. Myers, tell him that I have the sample, and he packs up and leaves. And that takes care of the protest. But I can also choose to capture this or show it the jar, so it will give me a way of dealing with the fish person. I am going to choose to side with the fish people. So trapping that fairy in a bottle. And now I don't have much energy left, so the last thing I'm going to do today is just try to get to that fish and see if I can hand back over the ferry. Because I saved this guy from the ghoul before, he lets me know about some of the weird stuff that's going on with them and where they're coming from. And so now that bottommost warehouse is available as a place to adventure in, and there's a side quest that branches off from there. And I didn't manage to make it, but I still got 1 point of etheric left, so maybe tomorrow. But yeah, I just got to do. Actually, I don't really need to do any more grinding at this point. Let's see, I might need a little bit more in the way of reflexes. Perception, I'm okay on. No, actually, I think I will be okay. There's something I need to have 10 buffed reflexes for, which we'll get into tomorrow. And even if I don't earn another point, I will be okay as long as I eat some caramel bars and get that sugar rush effect. So that's it for today. Tomorrow I will get back in on the main quest line, and I think I can probably make it through a couple stages of that and maybe get into the next area. But for now, that's it, so see you next time.